I may have once slept rolled up in alfoil inside a garbage bag. But you see, camping as a single person is easy. You just chuck a few things in a bag and you go. Sometimes you might forget, the minor details like a sleeping bag. But look, it doesn't matter because camping's all about the adventure and the packing is somewhat arbitrary and if not whimsical. Now, as a mum, camping is a totally different story. It's no longer about the adventure, but more about trying not to ruin someone's childhood. I think of it this way. It's like taking a day job, rolling it in dirt, removing 3/4 of your tool and then doubling your workload. It's not quite the holiday that was sold to you in the first place, but look, it's survivable. It only requires meticulous planning to get through it. And packing is a really big part of that. So I've developed a three-phase system that I like to use, and I get my kids involved so they can be learning critical life lessons along the way as we get ready for our big holiday. Stop! Fuck off! Oh, God damn it. Now, first is the autonomous phase. Micromanagement is a way to mentally cripple your children. They are already lacking the organisational skills and attention to detail that they're going to require later in life. So with the onset of Google Calendars and autocorrect and scaffolding sheets at school, they're really not being taught these life skills. So as a good parent, I'm trying to grow functioning adults, so I get them to invest themselves in the organisation of our camping trip. And these are important skills that will help them throughout life. So what the autonomous phase involves is handing them a pen and a piece of paper and asking them to write their own lists. Now, to help them out, I ask pertinent questions like, what sort of activities do you think we're going to be doing? Where do you think we're going to be sleeping? And I ask these questions because I'm not completely sadistic. It's really great to see them get involved and start asking their own questions. I really feel like I'm winning at parenting at this stage. Their questions are fantastic, like, will there be Wi-Fi? Can I take the Xbox? Do I have to come? And this is great. So the second phase, that involves a scaffolding sheet, unfortunately. So I can see that they're struggling. They're still learning. They're still young. I've got to give them that they're still quite young. And how is a teenager to know that they're going to need a toothbrush over the next 2 weeks? Or that shoes function better when socks are involved? Look, but time is running short. So I hand them a pre-prepared list. Now, I just give them the basics. What I want to do is leave enough wiggle room for them to start learning and start filling in the gaps and thinking about it a little bit more themselves. I don't want to stifle their creativity at this stage. Look, their little brains are still so plastic at this age. Anyway, I remind myself I'm growing functioning adults and not just compliant children. So I give them their list and off we go. It's just a tool that they need right now. And hopefully next time when we go away, this will really help them in the autonomous phase. They'll remember this lesson. Oh, this is fantastic. I can pretty much smell the neural pathways firing. So the third phase is the editor, or what the bloody hell have you been doing for the last 5 hours? Someone make me a cup of tea and hand me my meta list. As an editor, you're aware of when one doesn't quite have the ability to do the job at hand. And guess what? The buck stops with you because it's your ears that are going to be assaulted with the whinging when everything's not perfect. So you're on a time limit. Now you're going to have to get your own hands dirty and just do the job yourself. This phase is the phase of franticness. It involves shoving your kids out of the way so that you can find the lists that they've now lost. And then curse your former self because it's only half a list. What was I thinking? Look, there are times when there will be delegation. But what happens is you end up running from room to room and shoving random objects into shopping bags that are going to squeeze between the tent and the tarp and the poles and the ropes and the stove and everything else that you're going to need. But look, this is not a setback. Your kids are still learning a valuable lesson. What they're seeing is that You're there and you can be trusted in the tough times. You're always there to help them pick up the pieces. This is really building their sense of security. And look, at the end of the day, with a glass of wine in your hand, you can start to feel proud of the lessons that you've taught your kids. First, you've started to teach them organisational skills and attention to detail about what's going on in the world around them. You've shown them how a framework can be a really good tool, but doesn't necessarily stifle their creativity. They can still think outside the box. And third, you've shown them that you love them and you're always going to be there for them, and you're a trusted parent. But finally, and most importantly, this is a lesson that can't be learned in schools. You've taught them something that will be with them till their dying days. You've taught them resilience. When life gets tough, and it will, because there will be days when they get a flat white served to them instead of a latte, or HBO cancels their favourite TV programs. And resilience is going to be the crutch that will help them through these really difficult struggles. And look, as you sit around the fire at night, you can hear this last lesson solidifying in their little minds as they crunch on raw carrots and you think about the frying pan that you've left at home in the cupboard.